Right.
It's time for candid conversation. Conversation with Lady T and JT. It's time for candid conversation. Conversation with Lady T and JT. Check out the show. It's time for candid conversation. Conversation with Lady T and JT. It's time for candid conversation. Conversation with Lady T and JT. Check out the show.
Well, good evening and welcome to another Candid Conversations here on Oak 93.5 on your FM dial, or perhaps you're viewing us on Facebook Live or YouTube, wherever you are. We just want to welcome you to Candid Conversations. I'm your girl, Lady T, but of course, I have with me, she calls herself First Chair, but you all know her as that girl. Hey, girl.
Hey, girl.
That's right. JT is in the house. Listen, I'm gonna go ahead and deal with this big elephant that's out on this computer screen. Y'all, we are late. We are late. But because this wonderful technology that we have, where we can just zoom our guests in from any part of the earth, right, Jay? We've even come from Africa. We've had Africa here before, right? So just to have that ability, we are just grateful for it. But every now and then there's a niche. So today was that day. I don't apologize for being fashionably late. But JT, could you tell our wonderful guests who waited for us how fashionable this show is going to be and how entertaining and enlightening and who our guest is?
Yes, and in that order. So T, I don't know if you probably can't see my entire outfit, but this necklace came from La Chic Apparel. This dress came from La Chic Apparel. You know, so my whole drip is La Chic Apparel. And today we have with us Dr. Jacqueline Kemp-Wright, the proud owner of a premier boutique in Miami Gardens, La Chic Apparel. And ladies, you may have seen her at your favorite convention. She is at the Kojic convention. She's at the Baptist convention.
Come on.
I believe she's probably been at the AME convention. She everywhere.
Wherever.
We're talking today with Dr. Jacqueline Kemp-Wright, owner of the premier boutique La Chic Apparel in Miami Gardens, Florida. She is a successful woman in ministry. She has her podcast, First Ladies. And so we are excited to hear with Dr. Wright from Dr. Wright today, Lady T.
Yes, and Dr. Wright, welcome and thank you. You've been heavily sought after by Candid Conversations.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
Yes, we look. We do our conventions to go get that word, but I'm telling you, every one of them, I know 3 that's coming your way.
Yes.
Tanisha, Jennifer, but anyway, we're so happy and excited that you could join us today. Again, you've been a very busy person, as we all have. But welcome to Raleigh, North Carolina, with Candid Conversations, and ready to have that conversation. Dr. Wright, let's start out with talking about. Let me plug this, JT. We did now. This has nothing. Well, it may. I don't know, but we had a very interesting conversation last week. Women, men, everybody was tuning in. We've been talking about relationships, and whether it be wife, husband, friends, families, just relationships in general, and dealing with different types of personality disorder. So, Dr. Wright,
okay,
we're going to start with you because you have a story. Tell us a little bit about it. But you share whatever you want to share with us on today. But we want to talk about surviving divorce, surviving life after divorce, things of that nature. If you don't mind sharing,
I love to share. I believe I'm ordained to share. Surviving divorce is a very important word because it's a bad word in church. Divorce. Divorce has a way of cutting you off of everything. It cuts relationships, it cuts friendships, it cuts money, it cuts resources, it cuts a lot of things that you're so familiar with being connected to The word divorce, it just cuts you off.
Mm. Mhm.
And for being a co-pastor for 25 years, I never experienced such a cutoff in my life.
Mm.
Because it's one thing to be cut off in a relationship far as a marriage failing, but then it's another thing to be cut off from your spiritual children, from your church, your way of worship, the way you sing, the way you
Mm.
pray, the way you do everything, because we're so accustomed to having things being done one way. And
Right.
then when divorce comes, and I'm not the pastor, I am the co-pastor, which means I was supporting my significant other at the time. So there's really no need for me. And I was
Mm.
just simply cut off.
Mm.
Wow. Well, in the comments, Kezra writes, divorce is like a death. And that's
It's
what it sounds
absolutely a
like.
death.
Yeah.
I would like to expound on it because, death, I can't see you no more. It's over. It ends. It's over. And many times people slip into a depression because of death, because it's so final. I mean,
Yes.
my dad passed about 2 years ago. So I can relate to death in a very well way. So I went through death of a relationship and losing my father back to back. I remember being at the funeral for my father, and then my ex was at the funeral. I guess to somehow give some kind of support to someone. I don't know. And it was double whammy because then it was like, okay, I can't connect with this pain,
Mm.
but my dad is laying here dead. So at the same time, I felt cut off again because
Mm.
when his mother died or his dad died or his grandmother died, I was there for moral support.
Right.
I was there. I remember when my mother-in-law died. I dressed her for the funeral. She loved me to dress her, so I dressed her for the. He had never saw what she was going to wear until they opened the casket because not because um it was something bad, but he allowed me that space because he know we shared that. And I was
Right.
so honored to dress her for the last time. So, like when she say it divorce is like a death, experiencing my dad's death and the death of a relationship, the church, the marriage, it was a conglomerate of death I experienced at one time.
Wow.
Wow. And we know that it is like a death, like you said, Dr. Marshall. It's like you grieving, you double grieving. How do you grieve your dad and the loss of such a long marriage to your
I
husband?
the day of my dad's wake, I was moving out my store in Miami Gardens.
Okay.
I went and emptied the store and put it in a U-Haul, and I was moving to another location at the time because the lease was up because some issues with the air conditioning things there. So I loaded a truck and went to my dad's wake the same night. And I parked the truck in front of my dad's house full of all of my stuff until the weekend was over, and I unloaded it on that Monday.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. I saw
Nobody
you
in my family
working.
knew I had just unloaded my business. And
So
at
you
that point, when you start having to do things by yourself, because some women say, "Oh, I like to be by myself. I want to be single." Are you
Yes,
sure? Are you sure? Because
I know it.
singlehood means
Right.
exactly that. You
Yes.
do everything by yourself.
Right. Right. And
So
it's
the reality
amazing.
of my singlehood is when I moved out that store. I couldn't just call the deacons and say, "Hey, Deacon Henry," or "Hey, Marcus, one of my spiritual sons, y'all come on over and do this," and boom, 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 it was done. I was by myself.
Wow.
My gosh, Miss Jack, may I call you? Can I call you Jackie? Should I,
Yes, please
doctor?
do, please do.
Okay, okay. Um, you showed a lot of your move from your beautiful home.
Yeah,
I know moving from that business was a lot. I've done that. I've shut down a boutique before. I know that's like it's like almost losing a little family member type situation for me.
yeah.
But you moved out of a beautiful. You know how many times I started driving to Miami when you was putting that stuff for sale. I was like, oh, because I was texting you. I'm like, girl,
Uh-huh.
that's sweet. You showed us your vulnerability online. How you were moving. You were doing a lot of that by yourself. I did see you have a little spiritual. I think some of your church families maybe. I mean, you dealt with all of that at the same time, and you're still okay. And we're not talking about something, guys, that happened 5 or 10 years ago. You're still in the healing process, I should say.
I'm absolutely healing, but I'm not
Okay.
bitter anymore.
Feel that.
Amen. That's
There's
good.
there's layers to this, right?
There's layers to this.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm absolutely healing, but I was mad. And as Christians, we don't like to say we mad. We don't like to say we're disappointed. We like to act like everything is so perfect.
Yes.
But I'm absolutely healing, but I'm not angry anymore. I'm not saying, God, why no more. I understand now
Oh, that's
that I
good.
had to go through this.
Yeah.
Hmm. That's
Yeah.
good.
And why was it ordained? Would I say, was I ordained to be divorced? No, but was I ordained to go through the journey? Of course,
Yeah.
because God knows the process of our lives.
Right.
So
Right.
this process, the anointing is on my life. I had to be able to minister to somebody that's going through this same process and be sensitive, because I was married 35 years.
Wow.
Wow.
So I don't know not being with a person in my life.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that.
So I thought singlehood was just, I'm like, why everybody stop married? It's so simple.
Right.
You just find somebody, you fall
Be
in love, you
happy.
get married.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Right. And after a certain period of time, 20, 30 years, we locked in for sure. They be like,
Um,
oh, after them 7 year hump, this,
Damn,
that,
I just thought it was death do me part.
period.
Right. Well, that's
I
what the
just
word
knew,
says.
and somehow I just thought that he would die before me, because I was, I'm the wife and he's working hard and he's preaching. And I feel like, okay, I'll support my husband, put him in his role when he dies,
Mm-hmm.
and just
Mm.
never get married again.
Right.
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 Wow.
Because I was locked in like that.
Right. Right.
Unknowingly, things change.
Yeah.
And you know what? Something about life and people, things change, and sometimes people just change their minds. And
True.
we
That is
have
so
no control of that.
none. None.
That's a good point.
But Jackie, I'll say this. I've been married for 27 years. I think T has as well. When you're giving your youth to someone and your best years, it is, there's an element of where bitterness can kick in, because that's
Yeah.
Right,
time you cannot get back.
right,
And I think as women, sometimes, again, and this is a broad statement, it certainly doesn't apply to all women. But I think sometimes as women, when we began to, compartmentalize, hey, I've given you my youth, my best years, and this is my get back. You want to trade me in for something else?
right.
It's easy for bitterness to creep in, for
It
sure.
is.
So I think that's a fair emotion as you're going through the grieving process. They say it's 7 stages to grief, and
That's right.
divorce is like that.
It's grief.
There's different stages. So
Right.
Mhm.
And,
So
and
yeah.
even the youth part of it, I didn't regret that part, because I have 3 beautiful children, and God knows I don't want any more kids. So that's the most of the youth issue, is having babies for
Mhm.
me.
Right.
So God
True.
knows I did not have any more children. I have no regrets for having my children. It's just my time.
Yeah.
yes,
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
yes,
And I
It was my
definitely.
loyalty that
Mm-hmm.
I seem to have regretted. And it's just some things you just cannot get back. You
right.
understand what I'm saying? You just can't get it
Oh
back.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
oh
Yeah.
yeah,
You
yeah.
just can't get it back. So that's like you say, you lose something. I thought it was my time, because when it came to fixing the church up, when we was having an event, I was there. I cleaned the church. I decorated the church. I set whatever we were doing, my hands, I wasn't the first lady that just came in with my outfit on. My hands was on. And if one
Mm.
of the people of our old ministry, Tree Worship Center, would hear this broadcast, they will have to attest to that I was a hands-on so-called first lady.
Wow. And
So
that makes
now, Sunday morning, I struggle, because I'm so used to being hands-on. It's hard for me to just go sit in somebody's church and do nothing.
Yeah,
mm.
yeah. Jackie,
Don't
I
set
think
up
this
the
is
church. Don't clean the church. Don't get the food. Don't. I had food outside on the sidewalk with a building fund. Like I was in. I did the Costco's run. Like I was in.
You were one of
yeah,
them big, you a working first lady
Yeah. So
personality.
now it's hard for me to just go to church
And just, oh,
and process that I'm not needed.
mm.
Well, Jackie, I'm going to disagree with that because you are absolutely needed. There are
Absolutely
women
needed.
who are co-pastors and first ladies who are going through divorce, that are
Mhm.
going through this transition of their identity of where they fit in to the kingdom. And I hope that it's women who are going through similar journeys as yourself, whether they are a woman in ministry or whether they are a first lady, that needs to know that yes, God hates divorce. However, he can bring you through it as well. Because I mean, there's so many things, especially when you are a leading lady in ministry, being a first lady, and that's one more thing that is taken from you in the process of divorce. We know first ladies who, or former first ladies who've gone through divorce, and it is not easy. The men get to move on, they marry again, and it's like
Yeah.
the first wife never existed, but we
Right.
remember.
But you know what?
Right.
People like to say that you're jealous. You're jealous because my ex is now remarried. He married very quickly. You're jealous. I have no reason to be jealous of anything, of any relationship that my ex will ever have. Because like you said, I gave him my best young years and I had his too.
That's right. That's right. But I
I
hope that
had him at his best.
I
I had
exactly.
the best house he'll probably ever live in. I had the best church he'll probably ever have.
Yes.
Because
And I
God had favored our union.
that's
Yes.
right. And
My
you
business took off with nothing we did. We put a lot of effort in it. It was just favor. And it just happened
Amen.
like that.
that's it.
We didn't deserve it. We wasn't perfect, but we
Right.
were a favored couple. So in my mind, I have all three of my kids are talented. God gave me his best.
Mm.
So I have no regrets in that order. And I have no reason to be threatened by anyone or jealous of anyone. Because one thing about it is I still love Jacqueline.
That's it.
Yes.
That's exactly right. And of
And
course,
I'm so fearfully and wonderfully made. God got somebody for me.
yes,
I just
yes.
got to
And
let
you're
him pick me.
beautiful. Right. And you're
So
smart. I mean,
women
I
like
think
to
that
dig.
he had the best. I think he had the best everything when he had
I
you.
had the best, and he knows I had the best. That
Yes,
cannot be debated.
right. So
And,
it's
and,
just
and let me explain to you. We like to bash males and bash relationship. He wasn't all bad.
right, right,
That was we had a lot of success together. That was some good times together. So at any point, I don't want anyone in this life to think I am upset with my ex or I am mad at him. He decided to move on, and I respected and honored it. And I filed for divorce because he moved out of our home. A year
hmm
later, I felt like time was up, and I filed
right.
because
Yeah.
I didn't want to be someone in someone's secret. And I'm married. No, I'm a lady at all times, and I would never do that. So
Right.
at that time, since he decided he didn't want to be in that home, then I had to cut the ties
Yeah.
so
Mm,
that I could go on with my life. Because
right.
I
That's
didn't want to
good.
be one of those first ladies married, but your husband not with you. Your husband don't sleep with you. Because come on, somebody, that's happening.
Yes,
Yes.
it is, and that's what I think. I
Y'all
know
don't come
that God
together at
had you with that.
night.
Yes, it is happening.
It's just we on pictures, but it's not a union because it's another person in the. No, I didn't want to live like that.
Mm,
He deserved his peace, and so did I. So after 12 months of waiting to see what was going to happen, I decided to file, and I did. I'm glad I did.
mm. Wow, it's nothing like peace.
Yeah,
Peace.
it's
It's,
priceless. Because at
I
that point, I still couldn't go to the church. When I went, I felt uncomfortable. When I went, I felt like there were conversations that had been had about me when it did. So I say, you know what? I'm not welcome here anymore. This is not the same. And we get so accustomed to things that we sit in misery.
yes, yes.
We
That's
so
right.
accustomed. I'm the first lady. I was a founding pastor. It's not said now, but I was. I was
Mm,
there, and I will
Yeah.
always be a founding pastor. And nothing and nobody can change that. But that's we don't never say that part of it.
right, right.
So what I did was I indulged myself in my business, and every time you probably look at Facebook, you saw me twist around and dance around and having my freedom. And then church folks talked about that. I was dancing around and having fun with a dress, but I want to see with nobody's husband.
Right.
Oh,
Well,
I wasn't breaking them. I never touched underage children.
right, right,
So, sometimes in church we get on our soapbox, we so religious, you know, um, it's inappropriate with the dresses. No, I was just promoting a dress. That's it.
right,
Yes.
right. For
So
the
there were
full of hip
conversations
women.
trying to bash me for
Hmm.
promoting my business, but I did that to keep my sanity.
Hmm. Oh
Well,
yeah,
girl,
for
I
sure.
appress you promoting your business because
I do
I'm wearing
too.
Lashik
Listen,
apparel today. Y'all can't
she is
see it,
represented
right?
right now,
But
ladies.
the necklace is Lashik. This dress is Lashik.
Yup.
Like, yes,
And I
thank
and
And
I
you.
felt like doing that. It showed I'm curvy, and it showed women confidence as a curvy woman. It
yeah.
showed women if it fit me, it can fit you. You may be smaller, you may be bigger, you may be shorter, you may be taller, but you can gauge from seeing me in the dress how it will look on you.
Yes.
Yes.
So
Listen.
that's where I got that idea from.
Well, we're glad you poured yourself into it. You still looking fabulous, as are your attire. Everything is just beautiful. I'm always hitting you up. Always like, look, how much is that? What's that? What's that, girl? So keep doing what you're doing because you're looking good while doing it. And that's why I think God did allow, like you said, God hates divorce, JT, to your point earlier. But sometimes He allows us to go through things to be that testimony for the other woman in church. Because they're women, like you said, hurting. They're secretly doing it because nobody wants to quote air quotes keep it real, right? But we're real people dealing with real things in real life. In real life, people are disloyal. People do things like that, right? So I'm glad you're here to share with us, Jacqueline, because sometimes
Yeah.
it's hard. I'm gonna put a post up next tomorrow. I'm looking for a man that'll come and be real, talk real talk to the women because we want to hear from a man's perspective. We
Yeah.
don't want no fakeness. We want you to be real open, be candid, and talk about real life. And some people
Cause
don't want
now I'm 60 and I have to date.
to. Girl, I know.
That's not
I know.
easy.
I
I'm
know. And
60 years
2025, let's throw that out there.
I'm 60 and I have to date. I never wanted to date again.
Right.
I just thought I was, like you say, we made through all them years. I thought I was locked in.
Locked in. Hmm.
So I'm 60 and I have to date, but I'm starting to enjoy the journey.
Good. Good.
I'm starting to open my heart and my mind. But when you get a certain age, you want to be a Christian. And as Christian, we say you don't supposed to have sex before marriage. Mind you, me and my ex got married with no sex before marriage. You say that now, people run from you.
That's true.
Right.
They think you're crazy.
Oh
Yeah.
yes.
And we're
Celibacy.
talking about
They like
people in the
celibate. Who?
church. People in the
Eh,
church run from you.
Yeah,
Preachers,
so
ministers.
listen. Right?
oh,
Even in the church, they're like, "What?
yes.
This is 2025."
Yes. I'm
Yeah.
shocked. Like, yeah, you're exactly right. So
One guy asked me who was I saving it for. I'm 60.
wow, they
Wow.
bold too, aren't they?
Okay.
Mm.
But I have morals and I have standards, and everybody can't turn this knob over here.
Come on.
That's right. And see,
So I see
that's
somebody say she's 59 and it's rough out here. Sis, it's rough out here. But you know what
yeah.
I did? I had to say, God, I forgive and I let it go.
Mm,
And because I
mm.
had to position myself to be found.
True. That's true.
You can't be mad and get found. You can't be
That's
hurt and get found.
mm,
That's right.
that's
You
good.
must start your process of healing, because then you're going to damage somebody else.
That is
That's
so
good.
true.
That's so
That
good
is
because
so
so
true.
many times people jump out of relationships into another one. And specifically, I mean, I'm very shocked your husband, well, kind of, because I know they say men remarry, whatever. But specifically women, because we act on emotion, right? So we dealing with a hurt, grief, and then you getting that confused when you meet Joe Blow over here. You thinking that he's there for that empathy, for that that relationship with you, but he's after one thing most of the time, one thing and one thing only. And we have to be very careful about doing, who we deal with. And they
And
gotta
then
be believers.
finances is another problem.
Mm.
Finances.
Yeah. Oh, that's the big one, right?
That's the
Like
big one.
every like a whole changes the whole dynamic.
Yeah, let's talk
That's
about
good.
that though. Because
Yeah.
when you're older, the one thing and the one thing only is not sex. They want your
Right.
401k. They
Yes.
want
They
what
want
they
to
want to
be
see. They
hospice
looking for sugar
wives.
mamas. The game has changed.
It's changed. And what you want, they want hospice wives as well. You know. So I'm just
And
saying, we got
and
to be
are
careful.
they on your level financially, or do they want what you have financially?
Right.
Saying. Right, exactly.
Right.
So,
Not many men you're going to meet at this age are financially stable, unfortunately, because they've been through divorce, they rush through stuff. And most time in divorce, women are the thinkers. They don't come out on top.
hmm. Yeah,
We're
yeah.
not going to move so fast, do stuff so fast. We're going to be thinking about our future. We're not
Right,
That's
going to be thinking
right.
about getting with the next piece of man.
right.
So
You
we
know,
move
they
a little
automatic.
slower.
Right, right. That
So
make that's
most
so true.
times, women are going to come out on top. With that being said, you're going to meet us. You're going to find yourself more established in what a man is going to be.
Mm,
Can you
mm,
handle that?
right. Mm,
Yeah, so that's I know that that's a hypothetical question or a rhetorical question.
rhetorical. Yeah.
I have to believe though that if you've been married for 30, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, you're not going to be in a rush to give half of what you acquired that took you that time to build to somebody else. I don't see that. I just
Right,
don't. I just don't see you, taking what you've worked and just being like, I want this man so bad that I'm gonna ignore all these red flags
right, right.
again.
I think
Right.
sometimes women do it in the name of having a man, though, which is, I mean, I do. I think that a lot of women do that because they want to have a man, a piece of man, any type of man, just have a man, which I think is really, you know, but
And
that's
my
just me.
information is LECHIC hyphen apparel.com. The Jackie's
Oh, so,
Creation is an old page.
oh, we got to fix that in the comments. Yes, ma'am.
That's
We'll add it.
fine. Yes.
Thank you,
So,
JT.
I think in coming into relationship, I don't know if our standards would be so stiff
Mm, mm,
because we have to have a heart for people that might have moved a little quickly in coming out divorce, or sometimes the wife just was had a younger child, so they was benefited with the home. They would benefit to keep their businesses and things like that because age of children matters in divorce.
right,
That's true.
right.
I've even seen men wait till the child turned 18 to get a divorce.
Yeah,
That's true. That's
yeah.
true. Or
They
how
think
about
they're
this? The
doing their
flip
thinking.
side, the flip side to that is some men will divorce you before 10 years so they don't have to pay alimony because it's cheaper to pay child support than to give you alimony.
Amen.
You
Amen.
gotta know the rules to the
And a
game,
lot of
ladies.
times men are thinkers. We talk a lot, but they be thinking. We talk too
Thinking.
much.
And another thing, they thinking, and I mean, just sorry, but that side piece or whomever is in their ear, they're thinking too. So they got this
Amen.
pillow talk going on. You know what I mean? And so
Amen.
yeah,
Amen.
so stay on your game, ladies. Don't be
Yeah.
stupid.
So
Don't
my
get cute.
divorce, the lawyer told me, she said, because I was like, I don't want this, I don't want that, I don't want the church involved. She's like, Jackie, look, who you divorce is not who you married.
Mm,
And you got to look out for yourself.
that's deep. That's I get that.
At the end of the day, either you're going to benefit from what you work for or somebody else will.
Mm,
And that's your bottom line.
wow,
She said, at this point, you cannot make an emotional decision.
that's what we tend to do. Yep,
And we are so emotional as women, that's what we do.
yep.
Mm.
That's so true.
Because
So,
my business was on the line.
mm,
Alimony was on the line for me
oh, I bet. Right.
because I
Mm,
was I made more money.
mm-hmm.
So I would not get married again without a prenup. I would not.
Oh, that's interesting. Because we jump
Mhm.
in at a younger age,
Oh,
we just
we in
in love.
love. We gonna be
Yes,
forever. Da, 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 da. I would not get married. If a prenup offends my new husband, then I'll stay single.
Yeah,
wow,
yeah,
wow.
yeah.
JT, you say yeah, you would do that if well, let's say you don't have to, but you don't hear a lot of brown people saying that, right? You don't hear that a lot
Oh,
in our
I need a
community.
prenup because
It's
everything I worked
crazy.
for all my life was on the line.
See,
Every dress,
go back
every
to
hanger,
God.
every hook.
Mm, but
And
God,
so in marriage, especially when you get married young, you oftentimes start with nothing. Y'all are
Hmm.
building together.
Hmm.
And And if the Lord, as she said, she had a favored relationship. If God prospers you and you are favored, and y'all are, and He's prospered one to build this amazing, empire, and then you get to that fork in the road and you can't make it. They want
Right.
half of that empire, whether they hung a dress up or not.
Mm.
And
Wow.
the difference in me is I came in with a business.
Okay.
Okay.
I
All right.
owned the salon when I came in.
Okay.
I
Hmm.
owned the chic when I came to the door.
Right.
So
See?
that's why that being threatened was so hurtful to me
Mm.
because it was my baby.
Mm.
I get that. You
You
came
know what I'm
into that
saying?
with that. Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
not that he was attacking it, but he said, whatever happens, happens.
Mm.
Ooh.
So it was on the line.
Wow. Wow. But you were favored, thank God, because we still see you doing big things. I think you even have a salon now, going on. Yeah, we
Yes.
watching. Yeah, we trolling over out here in Raleigh, North Carolina. And ladies,
And
if you don't
are.
know, you might want to click on it and find out if you don't know. But if you do, if you've been to one convention of the Church of God in Corinth,
Yeah, a
you know
salon is
this
dropped in
lady.
my lap in the process after divorce. A beautiful salon. I now
Yes.
have a sprinter business. Where we have a transportation business that dropped in my lap. God bless me with a sprinter debt free. To God be the glory. So I didn't walk away from marriage looking crazy or bitter. I did end up with our home because the agreement was if I gave it the church, he'll sign the deeds over to the home, and I thank God for him. He did do that. So I ended up with our home, and I did, gave up my rights to the church because I don't own the church. I don't own the people. He was a senior pastor. I think it was a wise thing to do. So that's how that went. Even though I was stuck paying a lot of bills by myself, that was a nightmare. I lost my homestead exemption. My mortgage went up $1,800 a month. I say it went up $1,800 a month. At one time, I paid a mortgage of like $5,500 a month.
Wow.
I
Didn't
remember you
get much
saying that.
sleep.
No,
So,
no.
and my dad told me to promise him I would not lose the home. I would save the home and sell it and go home to my mom, where their house has been paid up for 35 years. So to God be the glory. After 4.5 years, I was able to do that.
Amen. That's wonderful. That is
Yeah,
a
now that's a
testimony. That's how you survive.
testimony.
Yeah.
See, because sometimes that gives somebody hope because sometimes you lose that longevity. If you all are just tuning in, we've been talking about survival after divorce, especially when we have these bigger numbers in life. So we're just talking about it because it's a real thing out here, and people sometimes suffer in silence. And you think that there's no hope. You think that there's no continuation to live in a home by yourself and be able to do it. But Dr. Jacqueline, right, has let us know on today God can do exceedingly and abundantly above what we ask and think. It's not just a catchy phrase. It's really happening in real time. And we are thanking God for you and your testimony, Jackie. It's coming on Candid Conversations today. Um, Casper asked, have you written a book yet?
I'm actually working on that now. I'm actually working on um a book called First Lady with a question mark because we all first ladies in our life in different aspects of life, where it's the first daughter, the only daughter, the first lady of a church, the first lady of your family, the first lady of your children. We are the first leading ladies in many things in our lives. So my book is called The First Lady with a question mark because I thought I was the first lady of the ministry, but the truth of the matter is I was not. Because had I been, I would have still been there. And I had to accept that and embrace that. Now they call somebody else first lady, and it's okay. Because on this side of the coin, God showed me he'll take care of me.
And he has.
I need a tithe, I need an offer, I need a seed offer, I need none of that. He
Mm,
simply just took care of me.
mm,
Yeah.
I love
Jackie,
that.
that's a powerful testimony because not everybody bounces back from
Right,
divorce.
right.
You bounce back with your identity. And though you took a huge loss, with your covenant, God, he favored you with giving you businesses that dropped in your lap and releasing you to be debt, from a lot of debt and to move comfortably to being debt free. That is an awesome testimony because that's
Yes.
not everybody's story.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just look up and say, God, I love how you love me.
Mm, me
Mm.
too. Yes.
Sometimes he just blows my mind. And I just say I just love how. So when I find myself wanting to be selfish and mad, I have a slight memory of what he's done. I say, okay, God, forgive me. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I would not offend you to be
Mm.
angry with anyone
Mm.
because I absolutely, it's like he put me in the right place at the right time. The salon I wanted, I got the salon. You would not believe how much I paid for that salon. It would blow your mind.
You
The
probably
person
right.
that sold to me showed me the loss. And it was
Wow.
exactly what I needed. When I wanted to get my Sprinter, I told God the price I wanted to pay. I wanted $100,000 truck, but I didn't want to pay $100,000.
Right.
I didn't pay 40.
Wow.
My God, today. Did you hear that? Wait a minute. I'm
I
waiting for the
didn't pay
rest.
40.
Woo. You tell me God
Mm.
can't do it.
When I went to the car
Nobody.
lot, it was the friend of his best friend was selling a Sprinter. They were showing me trucks for like 2 months. I said, that's not it. That's not. He said, listen, my friend is selling a Sprinter. It's a 2023. He'll give you a crazy price. You want to get rid of it today. I happened to stop by the car lot that same day.
Mm. Mm.
And he never got another one.
Oh, that's God.
What?
If
Oh
I
my.
show you the inside of it, it's not a scratch on it.
Mm.
Mercedes
No.
Benz has done all the services on the truck. So, I can't even afford to be angry at anybody because if I didn't go through that, I wouldn't have this.
That's
Right.
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 I
And
had to go
again,
through that.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. You
So
know.
sometimes we want all the blessing. We want to know, we don't want the process of the blessings. But I went through that to get this.
Mm.
And on this
Mm.
side, it's more, I don't work as much.
Wow.
Wow.
I don't
Look
worry
at
about
that.
the church budget.
Yeah. Wow.
The church budget, my budget, the salon budget, the house budget. No, I live
Mm.
debt free. My parents' house is paid off.
What a blessing.
So I went from paying 55 plus association fees to live to zero. My mom won't even let me pay a water bill. She's like, this is my house. I'm like, okay,
Oh,
fine.
oh, that is so sweet. Julia Douglas,
Yeah,
are you
she's a
on here?
sweetheart. So
You want
you
to say something?
sometimes you think you're going through a bad thing and God's setting you up
That's
Right.
it.
That's
to
it.
make you
That's
skip.
it. That's what I'm
Mm.
saying. You
So I'm
don't know the
preparing myself
end.
to buy myself another home in January, of course.
Yes.
Okay.
But this time I want it debt free.
That's
Mm.
that's a blessing. That
Well,
is
we
And I
such
already
believe
know
in
it's
God
coming debt
for it.
free because it's coming debt free because the way God been showing out for you, and honey, I'm believing it. I'm trusting it. So
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to hearing about that testimony. Yes, that
So
Kesma
I
said
hope I didn't talk too long. I know I have a lot to say,
no,
but I
this is
did not want
good.
to come on here and spew venom or poison on divorce. But the pain is there, but you can survive it.
that's awesome.
Mm.
You
Well,
you
Dr.
can.
Jackie, listen, you got to come back because we didn't even get into your podcast and we did not get into Lashik now. So you
That's
got
right.
to
We're
come
Yes,
gonna
back
post
and
we're
you
gonna
got to
post
bless
some
the people
mystique
and
up
we got to
here.
get into this podcast that you're hosting.
yes,
Yes.
yes, yes.
Yes, because there are women, like I said before, there are women that are out here that need to hear from you and know that they can survive this too. And whether it's a divorce marriage, like that the dissolution of a friendship, a close friendship, or by death, grief is real. And we all don't want to suffer in silence. And to speak with someone that's like I said before, Jackie, vulnerable, able to speak and not coming from a place of bitterness, you know what I'm saying? Because that is a place, and we don't want to dispute, but you coming from realness, oh, we love it. We love it here at Candid Conversation. So go ahead and plan. Go ahead and plan. I don't know if you want to come next Tuesday or the Tuesday thereafter, but we'll connect so that we can finish because if you tapped in late, y'all, we started late, but it was because of some technical difficulties. But we're good. We're gonna be ready for you on next Tuesday. So Jackie, again, thank you, Kesma. Yes, she said this was an exceptional conversation. Thank you, Kesma, for tuning in, week out, and for being in the comment section, girl. We appreciate you.
Thank
And
you
I,
so much. I appreciate the invite.
yes, well, I'll be in touch, girl. And we be watching you.
Okay.
We trolling. Take
Love
care,
you
Jackie.
guys.
Love
Love
you
you too,
too.
Jackie.
Bye
Thank you.
bye.
All right, bye-bye.
Thank you all so much for tuning in. Thank you for staying on with us a few minutes later. as we were late coming on. But we will be back next Tuesday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard. Same time, same place. Y'all have a good week. Bye. Bye,
Bye.
KT.
It's time for candid conversation. Conversation with Lady T and JT. It's time for candid conversation. Conversation with Lady T and JT. Check out the show. Check it out. It's time for candid conversation. Conversation with Lady T and JT. It's time for candid conversation.